guys, welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name's Jen and I'm a self-taught nail enthusiast. And in today's video, I am going to show you guys how I got these gel nail extensions using the Aimeili Builder Gel. I bought a 6-polish kit from Amazon over the weekend and I went ahead and I did some of my nails and I figured I'd show you how I do the rest. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay guys, so here's the kit that I bought and it came with 6 different builder gels. Now I use the clear builder gel. As you've seen before, I use this to put on my full cover tips. And when I was repurchasing this, I actually saw this kit that they had on Amazon and I wanted to give it a try because I thought it would be really nice to have like a cuticle color underneath the full cover tips, but I also wanted to try doing just some gel extensions on their own. Now, when you are using this, you do need nail forms, unless you do want to just use a tip and do an overlay that way. But I'm going to be showing you with nail forms today. So when you open the box, it's pretty standard. It just comes in this plastic packaging and it comes with the instructions. Now, their instructions do say not to make the nails too long. I have actually used the clear builder gel before to build a nail, and I did realize that if you made them too long, they weren't exactly very strong. So I kept them pretty short, and I think I just went up to the number 2 line on the forms. So that's what I'm going to continue to do. And like I said, they come in different colors. So I'll just take them out of the package and then I'll come back to swatch them for you. All right. So I'm just going to swatch them on the back of this form paper instead of swatching them on nails. I just think it'll be easier to do that. So this is the color that I have on right now, and it is number 154. And it's like a trend, you know, most of these, they're like translucent pink, so they're just like a variation of that. I might do a different color on my right hand. And the reason why I wanted to do my right hand is because I wanted to show you guys like how easy this is, that I can use my non-dominant hand and still get like a nice nail look. You literally are just like painting this stuff on. It's not challenging at all. And I'm sure if you did actually use tips, it might even be easier. And I don't mean like full cover tips. I mean like the half tips. I don't know what you call those, but that one's a little less translucent, 156. This almost looks like a white color. It's more like nude. It's nice. And what I did too, I forgot to mention, is I used one of their gel polish colors, and it's really like that, the jelly pink. It looks very pink in the bottle, but when you put it on, you can barely notice any color. And I used their top coat as well. I just figured I would stick with their line, you know, just to give it a fighting chance. They did have another one just like this with different shades. That one included clear, so they really aren't that different in shade range. You know, these two kind of look the same, and I'd say these two kind of look the same. But I don't know. For the price, I feel like you can't beat it. I'll go ahead and I'll cure them just for the heck of it. And while I'm doing that, I'll go ahead and put on my form. So, as I say in the beginning of my videos, I am self-taught. I don't have a license. I don't do this for a living. So when it comes to forms, the person that I would go to learn how to put on a form, and I didn't even like prep my nails. What am I doing right now? I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna use my dehydrator and this. I already like did my cuticle work the other day. I am just gonna push my cuticle back once again. So as I was saying, the person that I would go to really learn how to put on a nail form is Susie from Nail Career Education. That's who I learned how to put on a form, and the best advice that she ever gave when putting on a form was in a video that I recently watched. She basically said to not so much focus on the sidewall, but like look for the middle of your nail and just try to line the form up with the middle of the nail. And I'll show you when we get, once I start putting the form on, what she means by that. It made it so much easier when she explained it that way. Like, I don't know. When I thought about that in my head as I was putting them on, I did a really good job of applying all of the nail forms when I did my nails before. So I just have a Model 1's dehydrator that I use. And then I use the Young Nails Protein Bond. And I have been doing something I saw in one of their videos. They said to apply 2 coats of this stuff. So I have been doing that lately. I basically like wait for my nail to like dry and then I put on another coat once I get everything like set up. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna use the 154 on my thumb. Get a nail form out. And I'm just using, these are Competitive Edge nail forms. I got these in a kit. I don't even remember. I've got like 1,000 of them because I got like several of them in other kits. So I just tear the back side and I just hold it like this. And you can see that this line right here is the middle of the form. So you want to line that up with the middle of your nail. And once you get that lined up, then I go ahead and I just like pinch it on the side of my nail, and then I pinch the bottom of the form like this. And you can leave these up. I do put them down just to, I don't know, so they're not in the way basically. And then I'll go ahead and I'll do another coat of the Protein Bond from Young Nails. And then I do a Model 1's base coat. If I had an Aimeili base coat, I would use that, but I don't, so this is the one I'm using. And I just do a nice thin coat of that, and I cure that for 60 seconds. All right, push that down, make sure the form didn't shift, and you can see it's going like straight across. If you wanted more of like a curved nail, you could curve it down more. I like more of the flatter look. So go ahead and open this bad boy up. And honestly, I was shocked at how easy this was and how nice it came out. So I start just with my nail bed and I paint on a thin layer, and then I sort of push it back towards the cuticle using the brush to kind of just squish it back. And then I will take the gel and I use the brush to kind of just like float it on the nail. I hope that's good description of what I'm doing. I'm just like taking the brush and really like using the gel itself to kind of glide it down. I will have to go back into the bottle to get more to do the actual free edge. These don't like to stick down, unfortunately, but okay. So we go here onto the edge of the nail, and I use that like blob to sort of help me bring the gel down. And I'm going to the number 2. Again, I don't want like super long nails. I don't think that they are as strong when they are very long with this stuff. I find they have a tendency to break very easily. So, and I just make sure to get the side walls. And I'm going for more of like a coffin look. And something that I also do is I kind of keep my thumb down so that the gel doesn't run into my cuticle. So just checking every angle to make sure that it's all connected. I'm going to go ahead and try to put more of this back into the cuticle area. even though we don't want it to run into the cuticle, you do want it, you know, on the nail. All right, I think that looks good. I'm gonna kind of hold my nail upside down just so everything can sort of run towards the center. I'll pinch this just a little bit more. And I kind of just want to clean up over here with my nail. I know I probably shouldn't do that, but just want to make sure nothing is like running. And I'm going to cure that. I'm happy with that. I'm going to stick it in the lamp. And there is a heat spike on this. I don't know why, but it gets super hot. So I kind of like put my finger in and I take it out, put my finger in and I take it out because it gets so hot. Okay, now I can leave it in there. Okay, so I cured it for about 120 seconds just to be sure. And at this point you can go ahead and remove the form. And yes, the nail might look a little wonky. That's okay, we're gonna fix that when we file it. So then you want to do one more coat of this stuff. And at this point I start in the middle where I want my arch to be. And I might need to get just a little bit more than that. And I basically just like paint this stuff on. I'll do like they call it like a slip coat, I believe. And this coat is just so that we can get the gel to move around more. So it's really easy. And when it comes to filing, it files so easily. So, you know, don't worry if you take the form off and you're like, got this wonky nail. It's not gonna stay like that. So now I'm kind of just like filling in this space because obviously your nail is gonna be a little bit higher than the form because the form's going underneath your nail. So I'm just kind of like filling that in with the gel and I'm going like up and down, and I'm using, you know, the gel to just kind of float on to the nail. Filling that in, getting a nice arch in the nail. You can even take it from the cuticle and kind of go like all the way down the middle and then like use that and just kind of like spread it out a little bit here. And you really want to look from like every angle. I like to look sort of like down the barrel. And the thing about this that I like is that you get a nice thin nail, but it's got a nice arch to it. Nice apex, nice C-curve, really good C-curve when you use forms. All right, I am gonna tip the nail over, and when you tip the nail over, it kind of like draws the gel down to the center point. So just do that for like a few seconds. I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and cure it, and make sure when you put your nail into the lamp that you put it in like straight, because if you put it in at an angle, the gel might like roll off the nail. So just be careful with that. And when we come back, I will show you how I file. Okay, so you want to clean the sticky layer off with some alcohol. Otherwise, it'll just gunk up your nail file. Okay. And I just start at the side wall over here. Obviously some nails turn out better than others. So I'm going for that coffin look. I like to use a hand file for most of my filing. I just find that gel's pretty easy and it doesn't require much, so. Also, I wanted to point out, did you guys notice my new tabletop? My friend Alex, he actually does like custom woodwork just for fun, and he made me a new tabletop to work on because the one that I have, like that comes with the table, was very shiny, and you would get a lot of like glaring and things like that in the video, which doesn't look good, especially when you're trying to focus on the nails. So I'm just kind of buffing and filing just to get the nail to the shape that I like. And like I said, it's not really difficult. It files rather easily. The cuticle area looks pretty nice. And I like that, you know, when you make these nails, like you're making a custom nail, basically, like that fits your hand. So I think full cover tips are super easy. Like I love them. I use them all the time. Definitely not shading full cover tips. That's my jam. But if you wanted something that looks a little more custom to your finger, this is definitely the way to go. And it's super, super easy. I mean, even if like you saw how my nail looked when I took the form off, you know, it wasn't perfect, but just a little bit of filing and you can fix it right up. Just kind of, you know, evening it out a little bit. Cleaning up the cuticle area. If there's anything underneath is good. I didn't get anything that sort of like leaked under the nail, so because that kind of bugged me. It's nice and thin, which is good. Just look this way. Looks good. Just want to use the cuticle. There's a little cuticle cleanup here. I think I'll use that one. Still getting used to this drill. I've only had it for a little while now, so. And it does overheat, even though I bought the ceramic nail bits, it still overheats, so I don't know. It's maybe just a bit too strong for me, but that's why I kind of like do a little skippy skip over here so it doesn't get like too hot. Just to clean this off so I can see. I just want to clean up the little bit of cuticle that I've got here. I don't like to cut my cuticles off, but I will use the cuticle bit. I like using the cuticle bit. Okay. Just do a little bit of like finish filing here, and I think we're done. I'm not like too coffin shaped with the other nails, so I don't want to go too crazy, but I do like the coffin. Sorry guys, if I'm out of frame here. I'm gonna move. I have my charger plugged in. I use my phone to film, and my charger was plugged in. I was kind of wobbling the camera, so sorry about that. All right, buff it, and I think we're good to go. See? Looks great. So, what I do next is I go ahead and I do this nail color I told you. Just think it adds like a nice touch to it. Just adds a little bit more pink tone. And to be honest, I think this looks very realistic, or a little more realistic compared to the full cover tips, just because this is more flush to your nail. When it grows out, I think it looks a little bit better. It does require a little bit more skill because you're using forms, but again, like I said, you could use tips, so it's really up to you. Okay, and then I just go ahead and top coat it. And it's really, really that easy. Make it nice and shiny. Make sure you get that free edge. And I think it is super cute. There you go, guys. That is the finished look. And super easy. So I can go ahead and speed through one more for you guys. Alright guys, so I went ahead, I filed my nails, and I applied the color and the top coat, and I think it's just so stinking cute. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the rest of my nails off camera, and I'll come back and I'll show you the finished look. Alright guys, so I went ahead and finished this hand, and I used the color 156 on this side, and I did not use the pink nail polish because I wanted you to be able to see the true color. It's more of like a peachy shade and not as translucent once you use like 2 coats of it. And then I just did 2 coats of the top coat. I am really happy with this. I think this is a really easy way of getting some extensions at home. If you're not comfortable with the nail forms, like I said, you could always use a tip and you could make them longer. If you do it this way, it does actually say in the instructions to not make it longer than about 1 inch. And I think that's just because it's not strong enough to be any longer than that. The only downside to this is that it gets really bad heat spikes. Like, it literally feels like someone is like holding a lighter to my finger. So, you know, just be aware of that if you do decide to use this stuff. Another thing that I did on this hand was if like some of the nails, when you took the nail form off, if they were like really wonky, I went ahead and I would file them before I did the second coat. But you have to be careful when you do that because it is very thin, so you could just like break the nail off. So that's just like another, you know, tip as far as filing. But the filing overall is really easy and quick. This stuff is not very hard to file, so it doesn't take very long. All in all, this probably took me like 45 minutes to do like my whole hand, which is not that bad. So, you know, this is a steal for Builder Gel. Like I said, the regular clear one is $6.99, and this one I think was like 16 bucks for all 6 of these, which is just insane because the Kiara Sky one is like 20 something dollars for the 1 bottle. So I will leave it, and I will leave that and everything else I use in this video linked down below, and I hope you guys enjoy. And once again, please do not forget to subscribe, like this video, and hit that bell notification button so you never miss a Mani with me. Bye guys!